So John brought Jim over to my house, and I played them some stuff, which I think they liked. And, you know, to me, Jim was just a normal guy, that he didn't seem anything out of the ordinary to me the first time I met him. But he had these words, you know, that they showed me, and I knew that those were pretty unusual.
And when did you first meet him, John?
At the Maharishi meditation, Ray, the keyboard player, said, "Hey, I hear you're a drummer. Come on over to my garage and we'll jam." So I go to the garage, and lurking in the corners, this guy, bare feet, T-shirt and cords, really shy. I mean, Ray says, "This is Jim, the singer." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" But then he hands me some lyrics. Day destroys the night, night divides the day, tried to run, tried to hide, break on through to the other side. I'm like, wow, I want to drum to that immediately.
Now, you said he was shy. It's hard for me to imagine a shy Jim Morrison.
He had never sung before. He'd said he heard a concert in his head, but he had never done this. So it's just a gift, because a lot of singers, you know, blow out their throats singing improperly, and he never did. And he could scream from the bowels of his soul. But in the beginning, he was, well, he would face us at the London Fog down the road. He couldn't even look out at the audience, but he gradually evolved into the Lizard King.
So I think, you know, he always had that in him. He was just waiting to let it out. As he said, it was like a bowstring being drawn back for 21 years, and then...
Really id of Jim. Who was he in the final analysis? Who was he? You saw him good times, bad times, and times in between.
A great tortured artist.
Genius too, you know.
Dionysus and Apollo, self-destruction and creativity don't always come in the same package. Picasso lived to 90, but with Jim, they came together. And sad on a personal level, difficult to lose him. Time has helped me notice that, wow, I really miss his words, God. And melodies, he had melodies in his head too. Couldn't play a guitar, couldn't play a chord on anything, but in his mind he had this stuff.
The first 6 or 8 songs that he came up with, it was he was doing some psychedelics, you know, and Jim would just hear a concert in his head. And all he had to do was write it down. But, you know, he could remember how the music went, and so he would kind of tell us.
He said he thought of melodies to remember the words, and then he'd just sing it a cappella to us. Right. And we'd go, wait, hold it, E flat, okay, go, no, stop, you know, and we'd kind of eke it out together.
No wonder it took so long to put together a recording or an album if you work that way.
Well,
yeah.
No, actually, that was pretty quick to do it that way, because at least one of the guys has the whole song in his head, so all he has to do is explain it to the other guy. That when it started taking long was after we ran out of songs, and you know, I was starting to write more, and Jim was starting to write less, and you know, we had less time to come up with songs too, because you know, once you have a hit album, you got to come up with the next one. So
the incubation period is gone with success, and everybody wants to hear "Light My Fire." Great, but we want to write new stuff.
You know, for the first album, we recorded that thing in less than a week.
Yeah, well,
yeah, because you know, but we had 2 years in order to work the songs out, right. So they were perfect. You know, after the first and the second album, we still had plenty of songs that we could work on. But after that, it was like come up with brand new stuff in the studio. So, you know.
And Jim's self-destruction is increasing. He's moved on to alcohol, you know.
Which is probably the worst drug of all.
Well, that's saying something. You're saying, for particularly for Jim, John, did you know when you first met him or in the early going that his father was a decorated admiral in the U.S. Navy? In fact,
No,
commanded a carrier off Vietnam?
No, I did not. And in fact, when we finally got a little record deal, we had individual bios, and in his section where it has parents, he put deceased, which they were not.
No.
But kind of some friction there with his dad.
Well, there was
very
definitely
interested.
some friction there, that's right.
Friction, to say the least.
A father, I want a mother.
Well, you've raised it. I was just about to raise it. Was it at the London Fog or here at the Whiskey A Go-Go? Yeah. Here at the Whiskey A Go-Go, from what I can read, he was under the influence of something. And he said some terrible things about his father and his mother. So much so that even here at the Whiskey A Go-Go, which is not exactly a parish, that they fired you. So what was that about? What did that tell us about Jim?
Dan, that terrible, I think, is the wrong. I mean, I didn't know. They sounded kind of terrible to me. Here I am drumming, and he's like, "Father, I want to." But then later, I realized, oh, he's kind of framing the Oedipal myth, Greek mythology, into the end. And of course, we were fired immediately. But maybe it was metaphoric for all those hippies. He's helping them cut their umbilical cord from the parents. You know, at the time, anyone over 25 we didn't trust because we got lied to about Vietnam. So,
Well, I don't think he was thinking about all that when he said those words. I mean,
well,
when he
subconsciously, I think.
that night he didn't make it to the show, the first set,
Yeah.
and we were really worried because he'd never missed a show before, and so we went out looking for him, and I think you and Ray found him at the motel down there.
Yeah.
And he had taken too much LSD, even for Jim, which was tough to do because he took a lot. So much so that he was like hiding under the bed. So anyway, we got him back here for the next set, and that's when and he says, "I want to do the end," and we go, "The end? We always do that at the last." As the last song of the set. No, I want to do it now. I want to do it first. So, okay, we do the end. And that was the first time that those words came out. And I think it was just much of a surprise to us as anybody else. The thing about those words is that they are the Oedipal complex. You know, if you read Freud and all that, there's something in everybody that wants to take your mother and away from your father, and you want to do something better than your father did, thereby killing him, you know, metaphorically. It's in all of us, but he really felt it that night. I mean, it wasn't just something he wrote. It was he really felt that. I didn't know what to think.